Dear students, welcome to the session. In this session, we are going to revise Unit 3. Under Unit 3, we are going to discuss about the topic meteorology and air pollution. Generally, meteorology is nothing but the study of atmosphere or the science of atmosphere. Okay, you can see that meteorology is nothing but the study of atmosphere, especially meteorology is the study or science of atmosphere which deals with various meteorological parameters which can influence the atmosphere as well as which can influence the climate near the earth's surface. You can see here the branch of atmospheric sciences mainly aimed for weather forecasting. It means the main aim of meteorology is the weather forecasting. It means to estimate the changes of climate. Okay, also helpful for forecasting intensity of air pollution at a particular location. Atmospheric sciences are two. There are two atmospheric sciences are there. One is meteorology and another one is climatology. Meteorology is nothing but the study of atmosphere which aims for weather forecasting, and climatology is the study of atmosphere which aims for the weather forecasting but for the longer duration. It means that is the difference between the meteorology and climatology. If we can see that what is the difference between weather and climate. If you take weather, it is the condition of atmosphere which changes frequently. It means from hour to hour may change, or day to day may change, or week to week, or always it can change. But climate is nothing but the condition of atmosphere of a particular area which long or which last for long time. That is nothing but if you consider a area like what do you say, if you take an area like what to say, Ooty. If you take Ooty, in Ooty the weather may change hour to hour or day to day, but the climate may not change. It means every day in Ooty rain may takes place. Every day in Ooty, it means sunny may takes place. It means high temperature may takes place, and every day in Ooty some precipitation may takes place. So from hour to hour the weather may change. It means morning the weather will be cool, and at afternoon the weather will be somewhat hot, and at evening the weather will be cool again. So that is nothing but weather. And coming to climate is nothing but what if you say what is the climate of Ooty, always we can say that the climate of Ooty will be cool, too much cold. Ooty is a cold area. It is nothing but the climate of Ooty. Okay, so the study of atmosphere in the sense of weather forecasting is called as meteorology, and the study of atmosphere in the sense of climate is nothing but climatology. And we can say that in atmosphere there are four layers are there. Okay, this is the study of atmosphere. Okay, in atmosphere the atmosphere has been divided into four layers. From the earth surface, the first layer is called as troposphere, and the second layer is called as stratosphere, and the mesosphere is the third layer which is above stratosphere, and the thermosphere is the fourth layer. This is above mesosphere, and above thermosphere one more layer is there, that is called as exosphere, and that is not considered for the meteorology, considered in meteorology. Okay, you can see here in meteorology the atmosphere is considered up to 120 kilometers from earth's surface. The height of troposphere from earth's surface is 12 kilometers, and from 12 kilometers to 50 kilometers the atmosphere is called as stratosphere, and from 50 kilometers from earth's surface to 80 kilometers the atmosphere is called as mesosphere, and from 80 kilometers to up to 700 kilometers the atmosphere is called as thermosphere. And here you have to remember that the meteorology involves in the study of various meteorological parameters like atmospheric temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind speed, and wind direction. So you can see that especially the behavior of air pollutants or the quantity of air pollution in atmosphere depends upon these meteorological parameters like atmospheric temperature and atmospheric pressure. So for the analysis of atmospheric temperature and atmospheric pressure, we are studying about the meteorology here. So in troposphere, from the atmosphere, if we go height, it means In troposphere, from the Earth's surface, if we go height, then the atmospheric temperature will decreases. So that is called as it means the decrease of temperature with altitude is called as lapse rate. Okay, we will see about that. And with altitude in troposphere, the atmospheric pressure will decrease. It means in troposphere, with altitude from Earth's surface, the atmospheric temperature will decrease gradually, and also the atmospheric pressure will decrease gradually. In troposphere, it is in troposphere, but coming to stratosphere, the atmospheric temperature will be constant throughout the stratosphere, and also the atmospheric pressure will be constant. It means it may not rise with altitude or it may not decrease with altitude. It will be constant. So it means in stratosphere the atmospheric pressure and atmospheric temperature will be constant with altitude or with increasing height. And in mesosphere, with going altitude, the atmospheric pressure will be reduces as well as the atmospheric temperature will be reduces. It means the meteorological parameters, it means temperature and pressure in troposphere also with altitude decreases, in mesosphere also with altitude decreases. So the mesosphere again it called as above troposphere or second most troposphere of atmosphere. Understand or no? It means the behavior of atmospheric parameters or meteorological parameters in mesosphere is same like how they behave in troposphere. That's why mesosphere is also called as above troposphere or upper troposphere or upper troposphere or second troposphere. And you can see another one is thermosphere. In thermosphere, the temperatures will be too much high. That's why that layer is called as thermosphere. And one more thing we have to remember, that in thermosphere, the matter, whatever it may, substances or gases or molecules, they present in the form of ions. No matter will be in thermosphere in the form of molecules or atoms. Only matter will be in thermosphere in the form of ions, either cations or anions. So that's why the thermosphere also called as ionosphere. Okay, now so this is about various layers in atmosphere, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere, and especially all life and human beings living in troposphere on the earth's surface. So in the study of air pollution or in the analysis of quantity or concentration of air pollutants, in the sense how they affect human beings and how to protect environment and human beings from the air pollutants and air pollution, we need to study about the behavior of meteorological parameters in troposphere only. You can see here, next, meteorological parameters. The meteorological factors which influence air pollution and dispersion of air pollutants at an area are wind direction and speed, atmospheric temperature, atmospheric pressure, precipitation, humidity, solar radiation. Wind direction and speed, atmospheric temperature, atmospheric pressure considered as primary meteorological factors, and precipitation, humidity and solar radiation considered as secondary factors. And we will discuss about all these factors in this session. Meteorological factors, you can see here, the dispersion or transport of air pollutants from their sources depends upon behavior of meteorological factors. It means the dispersion or transport of air pollutants when they emitted into atmosphere from any industry or from any of their source is depends upon the behavior of meteorological parameters, because always any gases in atmosphere always they tries to move from higher temperature area to lower temperature area, and also they always tries to move from higher pressure area to lower pressure area. So the behavior of these parameters will decide the transport and dispersion of pollutants in atmosphere. Okay, the study of meteorological factors help in the determination of stack height or height of chimney is required at a particular place. So this is the we may call it as significance of metrology in air pollution, you may call it, because the pollutants from industry will enter in atmosphere from a stack or from a chimney. So the study of these factors or the behavior of these meteorological factors will be useful in the determination of height of the chimney to be provided for a industry. Okay, and the parameters widely vary as a function of latitude, season and topography. As weather influence air pollution also influences weather. This is the important point, we have to remember that. As weather influence air pollution, it means the meteorological parameters of the changes in weather can influence the concentration of air pollutants and the transport of air pollutants in atmosphere. In the same way, the air pollution also influences the weather. It means that the concentration of air pollutants can make some changes to weather, or can make some changes to atmosphere, or can make some changes to the composition of atmosphere due to various chemical reactions taking place. Okay, so like visibility reduced, it means reduction in visibility, fog frequency and duration increased or decreased, and incoming solar radiation may be decreased. Okay, these are all the changes to weather due to air pollution. Okay, first parameter is the wind direction and speed. The direction and speed of winds governs the drift and diffusion of air pollutants discharged into atmosphere. Higher the wind speed, dispersion, transport and diffusion, dilution and mixing of air pollutants will be high. It means you can see here, air pollutants, either gases pollutants or particulate pollutants, whatever it may, once they emitted into atmosphere, they will travel in atmosphere from one place to another place. Okay, you can see that in which direction they have to move. They will move in the direction in which wind is moving, and with velocity, it means with what velocity they have moved, they will move in atmosphere with the velocity of wind. And you can say that once the pollutants emitted into atmosphere, they will try to dissolve in atmosphere, or they will try to dilute in atmosphere, or they will try to disperse in atmosphere, or they will try to travel from one place to another place in atmosphere. Okay, now so all these behaviors of pollutants will depends on the wind direction and wind speed. You can see that if the wind speed is high, the dispersion, transport, diffusion, dilution and mixing of air pollutants will be high. If the wind speed is low, the dispersion, transport, diffusion, dilution and mixing of air pollutants will be low. And one more thing we have to see about the wind is gustiness of wind. Gustiness is the important parameter of wind, like wind speed. Okay, wind speed is nothing but the velocity of wind, and gustiness is nothing but whenever wind is moving with high velocity, if any obstacle will be in the flow of wind, it means like any obstacle, like or anything be in the way of wind flow, it will slab with its velocity. It means you may call it as the beat or the slab of a wind speed, you may call it as gustiness. Okay, gustiness is the important parameter of wind, like wind speed. Gustiness determines the extent to which pollutants mixed and diluted with surrounding air, and mixing height is the height to which related air pollutants can extend, primarily through action of turbulence. Wind direction, wind speed and wind turbulence will decide the mixing height of the pollutants in atmosphere. You can see that mixing height is nothing but if the pollutants emitted into atmosphere, sometimes the pollutants will travel in vertical direction. And one more thing you have to remember, that from their source of origin to some height they will travel in vertical direction. Understand or no? So the height to which they are traveling in vertical direction, that is called as mixing height. Okay, so these are the two parameters we have to remember in the sense of wind speed and wind direction: gustiness of wind and mixing height. These two parameters will decide the dilution or transportation of or dispersion of air pollutants in atmosphere. And this mixing height depends upon wind direction, wind speed and wind turbulence in atmosphere. This is the important topic, we have to remember that. On which parameters Mixing height will depends. Mixing height will depends on wind direction, wind speed, and wind turbulence. Next parameter is the atmospheric temperature. The dispersion of air pollutants influenced by the atmospheric temperature. Higher the atmospheric temperature without any humidity, higher the dispersion in vertical direction. Lower the atmospheric temperature with atmospheric fog or during winters, the vertical dispersion of pollutants will be blocked. And in such atmosphere, the pollutants tend to accumulate near their source of emission itself. You can see that always the pollutants in atmosphere, they tries to travel from higher temperature zone to lower temperature zone. And one more thing, that if the atmospheric temperature is low, it means during winter season, the pollutants will not travel in vertical direction. And if the atmospheric temperature is high, like in summer season, the pollutants can travel in vertical direction. It means the vertical movement of pollutants can it means it depends upon the atmospheric temperature. Okay, and also the direction in which they have to move also depends upon the atmospheric temperature. Next one is the atmospheric pressure. See that always atmosphere contains some pressure. That pressure is called as atmospheric pressure, and this atmospheric pressure, due to the self weight of atmosphere and due to the collisions between the various gases molecules and also the chemical reactions between the various gases molecules, and also the atmospheric pressure will depends upon the atmospheric temperature. Okay, atmospheric pressure sometimes may be low and sometimes may be high. You can see that the low pressure systems, that is cyclones, occurred in atmosphere lead to good mixing and rapid dispersion of pollutants. It means the pressure systems will be there. Low pressure systems are called as cyclones, and a cyclone means atmosphere contains always from place to place or from point to point. The atmospheric pressure may change. Sometimes atmosphere may contain low pressure and sometimes the atmosphere may contain high pressure. And if the low pressure zone is surrounded by a high pressure atmosphere, in that case that system is called as low pressure system, and this low pressure system occurred in atmosphere lead to good mixing and rapid dispersion of pollutants. That system is called as cyclone. In figure you can understand that always the pollutants will tries to move from higher pressure to lower pressure. It means here low pressure is surrounded by high pressure, so always pollutants will tries to move to the center of the pressure system, and then they can move in upward direction. You can see that hence such cyclones usually accompanied by rains and storms prove to be better for dispersion of pollutants. Next one is the high pressure system. High pressure system are called as anticyclones. Here the high pressure atmospheric area is surrounded by low pressure atmosphere. Okay, such condition is called as anticyclone. High pressure system occurred in atmosphere could cause serious air pollution problems. Hence such anticyclone conditions accompanied by clear skies and light winds prove to be bad for dispersion of pollutants. So from this you can understand that whenever cyclones or cyclonic condition or low pressure system takes place, that is the best condition for the dispersion of air pollutants. And whenever high pressure system or anticyclones takes place in atmosphere, that is the bad condition for the dispersion of air pollutants. If the dispersion of air pollutants is good, then we can say that the effects of air pollution will be low. If the dispersion of air pollutants is bad or blocked, then we can say that the effects of air pollutants will be high on environment as well as on human beings. Next one is the precipitation. This is the secondary meteorological parameter. Okay, precipitation is nothing but the substance, whatever it may comes from atmosphere to earth is called as precipitation. Here you can see that rainfall or precipitation exerts a cleansing action on the pollutants discharged into atmosphere. It accelerates the deposition of particulate matter on the ground. It means the rainfall or fog or snow or ice from atmosphere to earth surface is called as precipitation. And whenever the precipitation taking place, it will take the various particulate matter suspending in atmosphere and also various gases pollutants which can dissolve or which can react with water to the earth surface. It means self cleansing. Whenever precipitation takes place, at that time the atmosphere, the condition of atmosphere, we can say that self cleansing condition of atmosphere, or the precipitation exerts a cleansing action of the pollutants discharged into atmosphere. It accelerates the deposition of particulate matter on the ground. It also helps to remove the concentration of gases pollutants which are soluble in water. The process of removal of oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen leads to fall of acid rain. This increases rate of corrosive nature and decreases pH of water bodies. Next parameter is humidity. Humidity is nothing but the concentration of water vapor present in atmosphere is called as humidity, and this humidity can be expressed in three ways: absolute humidity, relative humidity, specific humidity. Absolute humidity is nothing but whenever we mention the humidity in terms of water content in air, that is quantity or the weight of moisture per the weight of atmospheric air is nothing but absolute humidity. It means grams per kg or grams per cubic meter. It means per 1 kg of air how much humidity is there, that is nothing but absolute humidity. Or per 1 cubic meter volume of atmospheric air how much humidity or how much moisture or how much water vapor is there, that is absolute humidity. Absolute humidity mentioned in terms of gram per kg or gram per meter cube. And next one is the relative humidity. It is expressed in terms of percentage. It means if you take atmospheric air, a sample of atmospheric air, in that how much percentage or what is the percentage volume of the humidity or moisture or water vapor present in the total volume of the atmospheric air. So that is called as relative humidity. It is mentioned in terms of percentage. And the next one is the specific humidity. This is the ratio of water vapor mass to the total moist air particle mass. Air particle is nothing but pollutant air. Okay, you can say that specific humidity is the ratio of water vapor mass to the total moist air particle mass. Humidity affects air quality primarily by blocking solar radiation during daytimes and earth radiation during nights. This is the important point. You have to remember that humidity affects the air quality by blocking solar radiation during daytimes and by blocking earth radiation during night times. And humidity also leads to formation of fogs. Next parameter is the solar radiation. Solar radiation is nothing but the energy from sun in the form of light and heat is called as solar radiation. Solar radiation can heat air near the earth's surface, which can affect dispersion of air pollutants, also can accelerate photochemical reactions. Photochemical reactions can produce photochemical spark and ozone in ambient atmosphere. So during winter, solar radiation helps for the dispersion by increasing heat energy. You can see that due to the increase in solar radiation, whereas photochemical reactions will take place. Due to photochemical reactions, various pollutants like ozone, photochemical smog, and peroxyacetyl nitrate can enter into atmosphere, and they are highly dangerous to environment as well as human being. And during winter, solar radiation can help for the dispersion of pollutants by increasing heat energy. Okay, and the next topic, one important topic of the metrology is Windrose diagram. You can see that Windrose is the important topic. Okay, you can see that Windrose is defined as any one of a class of diagrams designed to show the distribution of wind direction experienced at a given location over a considerable period. It means the main aim of Windrose diagram is the to express or to show the quantity of air traveled in each direction. It means if you take an area, in that area, in a particular time, how much quantity of air will travel in each direction with each velocity. It means windrows is a diagram, graphical representation. It shows that in each direction how wind speed will, it means how the wind speed will be there and how the wind will be travel in which direction. Okay, by seeing figure you can understand that